Well, here's where we are at the moment. I got a half-inch oak dowel and I cut it off and I put that plug in there. It's all glued. I added a little more strengthening over here. The cat just went out the door. That's what that noise was. But also, I have learned that I can get a reinforcing plate that screws down to the wood here and holds these two things in place. I'm still tracking down where to get it, and if I absolutely need it, I may end up just buying one. But for now, I'm going to try this. Once all the glue is dried and everything, I'll give that at least 24 hours. I will file that down smooth, and then we will re-drill the hole and see what happens this time. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, at long last, it's time to put this thing together. I have been all through both of these. I've reinforced them as much as I can. I've added oak. I've added metal. I've added adamantium. I have done everything I can. If those move a little bit, I'm just going to have to live with it. So, step one is going to be to put the pick guard on. Now, the first thing I want to do is get me some of my electrical tape and take care of these floppy moppy wires here. Basically, what I need to do is I need all of this stuff to go right down the middle until we get to the back here. So that means, as you can see, I tried to take this one down once before, and for reasons I can't fathom, it didn't stay. So I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to take the two of those. I'm going to wrap the tape around my finger, as you can see. That wasn't actually part of the plan, but it seemed to happen regardless. And then I'm going to just take those wires there to the underside of the middle pickup. Now that guy is bulging a little bit. Again, you can see some old tape here where I tried to do this once before, but as you know, our motto here in this shop is why do it right when you can do it again. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll get another piece here, and we will go ahead and tack those down a little better this time. The biggest problem and the biggest reason all this stuff kept coming loose is because I had to handle this thing so much. And wires get bumped and moved around, whereas now they should just stay put because I'm not actually doing anything with them. So there's three wires that I need to thread through this thing. The first is the bridge ground wire, which is right here, and I've already got it threaded into its little hole there. And then there are the two outputs here. They have a much larger opening that they're able to go through, so getting them threaded isn't a huge problem. So in they go. The other wire is still staying put. So now it's just a matter of sliding that under there and letting everything drop into place. And of course there's one silly little wire that's stopping the whole thing. There we are. That's better. All right. Now, I'm not going to put the screws in yet. Yeah, it's riding a little high because of these pickup adjustment screws. They're really long, and so I may end up going in there and deepening some recesses in there for them. But that's a project for another day. for today, I want to get the electrics hooked up, and I want to make sure everything is working, which requires plugging it into an actual amp. So, for starters, I'll need to solder this thing up. Now, this is, yeah, this one is arranged like I never saw before, but as long as I understand it, which I do, I can work with it. So, my hot wire, my white wire, is going to go to this one. It has obviously been there before. It's got a big gob of solder on the end of it, so I'm just going to snip that off and start fresh. So I may need to strip a little bit more. And it looks like I do. So we'll get the little X-Acto knife here, roll it around a little bit, until I can feel the blade bumping the wires, and then we'll just peel this stuff off. So there we go, that should be plenty. And now it's going to turn the guitar blue, but to do this I really need that light there. So it's a fluorescent light, which is why it's making things look blue. Honestly, the guitar really is purple. We didn't change anything when nobody was looking. So I'm having some difficulty with this thing. I'm sure you can see that. We can get it hot enough, then it'll do that. Then we'll grab the solder and we will seal it up. Or as I like to say, then we'll go back and make it pretty. And that is a pretty job. So, even if I do say so myself, which I do, because it is, so why shouldn't I? Yeah. That is Dave Logic. So, feel free to use it if you need it. I don't patent things like that. Mostly because, yeah, if I tried to, I have a feeling everybody in the patent office would laugh me out of the place. Because you don't patent words anyway. You trademark words. And I don't do that either. Once again, I'm going to have to trim a little bit off here because it kind of splayed a little bit there, which makes it difficult to work with. So, and yeah, as you can see, this wire is not overly cooperative. So, there we go. Much better. Okay, let's grab the solder and make it pretty. The wire doesn't want to be pretty, but it's going to be. I said so. You little booger, that doesn't mean jump out and try to escape. I told you, you're going to be pretty. Told you. Okay. Now, my next step is going to be to plug my amplifier into this and make sure I'm getting sound out of all the pickups. So here we are. We're plugged in, the amp is turned up, we're on the back pickup. Good. All right. Everything is functioning properly. Volume control is a little crackly, but a little work should take care of that. So when these things sit for a while, they get dust in them. And if there's one thing this room has a lot of, it's dust. So I do believe we are ready to screw this thing down. And you know something else? If I have trouble with these posts, the position of the pick guard is going to help keep them in place. So I have now done everything I can possibly do. So, for better or worse, let's do this. So we're all set. I'll go ahead and start with the one closest to me because it's closest to me. So, and here we go. You know, after all this time, all the fuss, all the headaches, all the redos, and all the new stuff that I have had to learn, I can't believe this day is finally here. And this thing is caught on something and I don't know what. Ah, I see. I put a little extra reinforcement there, and the pickup is apparently caught on it. Now, it goes without saying that while the camera was off, everything was fine. Everything dropped in here just beautifully. No hassles, no muss, no fuss. And now, as quick as I turn the camera on, this is what happens. So, I'm sure any of you who have ever tried to make a video about anything understand how that principle works. So, Looks like I got another rogue wire in the way, and that may be causing the difficulty. And it wants to stay rogue because the stupid thing will not go where I'm putting it. You know, looks like that was it. So, there we go. Now you know how to do that. Just, yeah, keep screwing around with it and hope for the best. That's what I do. And as you saw, sometimes it works. We won't discuss those other times because I see no good reason to. Looks like I'm going to need to put another one right there. But I will, again, I'll take care of stuff like that later. This thing still is not sitting right, and I cannot figure out why. I thought it was in place. It told me it was in place, and I think it lied to me. Alright, what is the problem? Could be those guys. Let's try rerouting them over this way. So they come out the same place that one does. And let's see if that helps. Okay, this is just... Alright. Okay, I think I know what the actual culprit was. One of my reinforcers here has a small screw head sticking out. I think it was catching on that. Because now, it appears to be doing all right. So, let's try this again. You know, there's always one. There's always one piece of the equipment that has to be a rogue. In this case, it looks suspiciously like it's that back pickup. So, I will probably do a lot more dinking around with that off screen, or I may just leave it. So, a lot will depend on how it sounds. Because, of course, I mean, this is a beautiful instrument. My wife did the most incredible job on the paint. I am super delighted with all the gold hardware. Love the birds on the neck and all the rest. The nice gold Floyd Rose is worth all the extra effort. And if it sounds like crap, there wasn't much point to it. But I don't anticipate that happening. Because, yeah, the components I bought appear to be good quality and from reputable places, with the possible exception of the neck. But obviously I lucked out there. And so a lot is going to depend on things like effects, what amp I use, and all of that good stuff. Because if it puts out a decent tone, I will find my sound with it. That is a thing that I do. So, that will not be a huge issue. As long as everything functions, yeah, I will find a sound. So, that is the next to last one. There's one more to go here. So, and incidentally, online I've already made at least one convert to clear pick guards. So, yeah, there's that. All right, now I need to locate the screws that hold that down, and we will put that on next.